they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs.
You are different. You're different kind of fish.
Yo, Russ and the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well, my friends. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. If you're new, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. We're halfway there. We're halfway there. Halfway there to the Europa Conference League final. A 2-1 victory against AZ Alkmaar. Looking back at it, and do you know what? Yesterday, I mean, I tried to do a little thing after the game outside the stadium. It didn't really work very well because the Wi-Fi, the 4G was rubbish. But I went back and I was really, it was really weird atmosphere that second, like, at the end of the game, and it always is with these sort of two-legged affairs. I mean, we go back to last year. You've got, well, even this year, look at the Ghent game. The turning over Ghent 4-1. Didn't we? I think we was going into it with a draw, weren't we, at the beginning? At their place, and just the euphoria, and everyone was buzzing. And yesterday we won the game. Yesterday we beat AZ Alkmaar in the first round, and the first leg rather, and we went into the second leg with a 2-1 advantage, and we all looked really sort of subdued. It was really a really strange atmosphere, not from the beginning, honestly. I mean, I came out of that game like, when it kicks off, I have to literally go outside for a wee straight away because, I'm almost 42 years old. My prostate ain't what it was. So I need a wee almost straight away, having sort of not had one for about 2 hours from everyone coming into the stadium. But it was so loud. It was intimidatingly loud when I walked down the stairs. And so the crowd were up for it. But the game plan wasn't, it was looking back at it, it was a different game plan to Man United. The Man United game was not a free hit as such, but it was almost like we can have a go at these and see. But we knew that what AZ Alkmaar could do. They're a very good football inside. They remind me a lot of Brighton in terms of sort of the football they play. And obviously they punch well above their weight in terms of, their expenditure in the Dutch league and the size of the stadium. And the idea clearly was give them the ball and we're going to counter-attack. And we, the game plan kind of worked. We won the game. We then come to the away leg next week, and to be honest, I think actually it suits us. Going ahead into the away leg because we know that actually Alkmaar have to play on the front foot. What do we do best? Well, not best, but what have we been doing all season? Counter-attacking, soaking up possession, and then hitting on the break. So as long as we've got the players who can, when we hit on the break, to make it count, I'm all right. I'm all right with that. In a cold light of day, I'm all right now. Yesterday I was a bit, came away thinking, but I'm all right now. If it was the other way around, we have the second leg at London Stadium, and or even any game, you go into the first leg, you come away, 2-1 up, we would have taken that at the beginning of the day, and that's what we got. And also, hello to Peter Jones. I want to say hello to Peter and his lovely wife. I had a lovely walk back from the stadium to the car park with Peter and his wife. So, hope you're well, Peter. You won't be watching, but you will do later on. Let's see what we got in the chat. First off, everyone deserves a 6. I'd give a 5 for that goal. Second half, we're going to come up. We're going to do that in a minute. Yeah, I thought put a little bit of the fireworks in. Look at those lovely fireworks. Wow, look, fireworks. I thought I'd put that up. Something a bit different for those of you who couldn't see it. We had a lot more fire. Look at the fire. Wow. Ooh, ah. Actually, it was quite funny when we actually was watching the game, watching the fireworks. And when I saw the first fireworks go up, I heard there was an audible ooh in the stadium, which I thought was quite funny. Nice to see Garino in the chat as well. Toby's here as well. My ex old wife was massive. Good, excellent. Afternoon, Luke. Hope you're well. Halfway up the mountain, in danger of falling down. Totally right. Thank you, Artel. Yeah, I know it's the audio, but it's it just epitomised that second half, I think, in terms of my performance afterwards. I was only a goal out of my prediction 2-1. Having that goal may see us next week. They come and play some attacking football, but FFS played to the whistle indeed. Thought Crest had a good game. Benny was standout. Danny Boy done well when he came. Do you know what he did actually? We won't give him the we won't do the ratings for Danny because he only came on with like half hour ago. But actually, that's probably his most complete sub performance. And he should have scored, actually. He was unlucky not to get a third. Yeah, would have been nice. I think the players looked knackered. I think they played a different game plan compared to the Man United game, which obviously frustrated a lot of us because we wanted to see us go for it. But actually, I think in the cold light of day, we've done enough to go into the second leg with an advantage. So, and it will only work out. We'll only know if it works if we qualify for the final, isn't it? Really. Everyone stopped for their goal. It wasn't a foul. It wasn't a foul. It was actually going to be a handball, really for Paqueta, and that's what the ref was looking at. I agree. We can counter them. The 2-goal cushion would have been nice. Team was subdued because they spent too long sussing AZ out and are too defensive. I think they gave them too much respect. We know what AZ are. They play football. They play a good lot of football. They play it on the ground. They play a lot of possession-based game. But then that's been us all season, isn't it? Really taking soaking up the possession and trying to hit them on the counter. And so just be nice to do it a little bit more often. You can see what we got there. You can see some of the tiredness, adrenaline got us through in the end, but we may have to rest key players. We'll talk about, I think, tomorrow. I think... I have to have some thought of that starting 11 for Brentford. I think it's going to be really interesting starting. We so don't need that game, do we? I'd rather we just not play, in all honesty. But it gives the opportunity for people like Fornals, maybe Cornet, maybe Lanzini. Obviously, we'll get Moyes' press conference. I imagine it's going to be a really short one. That'll be up late this afternoon. Because it just will be really short because there's not really much to talk about. They haven't really. They're having the rest day today. They might come in and do a bit of light training because they got the game on Sunday. But to me, I think Antonio looks the only looks fucked, to be honest, because he was hobbling off when he came off the BT Sport interview. Whilst it was a mixed performance, I thought AZ looked decent. Time wasting aside, they were European side. That's what they do. And actually, looking through the four of us. I know people talk about Fiorentina with a big, but Fiorentina like 8th, 9th in Serie A. Basel always do well in their league, but there's, the informed team is probably AZ. Were they 4th, I think, in the Dutch league? So actually, 4th or 5th, I think. But if you look at them, they're probably the informed side. We're 15th, 14th, 15th in the Premier League. So, and Fiorentina, as I said, about 8th. So, and even they lost. Basel beat them 2-1 with a last-minute winner from their striker. So, West Ham Basel final. Or as it currently stands, wouldn't mind that. One thing stood out for me, they could be open if we play some nice 1-2 touch. I think, yep, Ings definitely, particularly. After all, can we get that ref second game? Was he the Turkish one? Was he the Turkish Mike Dean? Exactly. He was? Do you know what? He ruined the first half, and I think the trouble is the second half. People were like, like all the crowd are like moaning, like, because he gave a corner instead of a goal kick. But then they watched the replays, and actually, a lot of the decisions he made in the second half were right. But we'd already marked his card because he was so crap in the first half. I play Cornet. I play Cornet instead of Bowen, as I think they know how to stop him playing. Cece's comments: only West Ham would have fireworks during the day. Well, it was the evening. It was the evening. It was the evening. Thought the ref was awful, but second half was a lot better. We need to put out a second string. Yeah, I think we need to go second string. If CC did the fireworks, he would have missed. I'm still in the meh opinion, but the game approach, as it was underwhelming. I hope the younger fans do get to see us win something. I'm putting myself in that bracket, Peter. Thank you very much. It's mad to think we can win this competition without ever playing near our best. Consistently our best, yeah. I think that Ghent's the second half of that Ghent game was amazing. That was West Ham of old, so to speak. But we'll see. AZ an average age after 20 minutes, you could see they had no attacking threat. Interesting. I think it's also, Michael, don't put yourself into a full sense of security in terms of AZ. Their whole left side it's not their first choice left side. They'll be back for Thursday, I think. You'll have the left back, the Hungarian left back. What's it called? Who was suspended, and then they've got Jesper Karlsson, who's the left winger, who's like the Swedish Neymar, they call him. So they had some players not playing. So we'll see. Good day. We're going into game one up. Happy days indeed. Bowen looked a bit knackered. Give Anang a game. He won't. Fabianski will be playing. Do you think Anastasiades will be among the first team and sub bench versus Brentford? I think the sub bench. The sub bench, I reckon. I mean, you had from the under 21s, you had Freddie Potts, you had Mbama. I think they'll both probably be on the bench. Maybe Casey on the bench, maybe. Just thinking in terms of centre backs. For me, I wouldn't put hardly, anyone who's going to play on Thursday. I wouldn't give him any minutes, but that's not going to be the case. We know someone like Declan Rice is fit. Declan Rice probably plays, and based on what's happening in the centre back positions, obviously Zuma came in. We'll talk about it in a minute, but Oggy wasn't even on the bench. I don't know if anyone noticed that. So I wonder what's up with Oggy, whether he's got an illness, whether he's got an illness, and maybe Zuma was going to be earmarked for the next game, the second leg, and they brought that forward a little bit. But I don't think he looked like he'd been injured at all. Really, just looked really good. Basel were awful last night, but boom, very good. Were 40, very, very good indeed. 40 Towers. I'd buy Gerd left back and bring into Zuma. Faster, much more presence than Cresswell. Right, zoom through. Do you think Rice played a lot deeper than usual because Zuma was drafted in and was 70%? That's it. That's what I'm just saying. Maybe Alisson, but I just think he does. He naturally does. We were playing more contained, that was for sure, than we have done in the last few games. And we got the job done. So only when he thought the ref got most things right. Second half, definitely. Can't please some people. Goal advantage in second, and people say money indeed. Put some youngsters on for Sunday. Let them see there's an avenue for progression. Asian and no mugs. We can't underestimate them. Any chance Sufo can make second leg? I think he could. He's been walking around a lot, hasn't he? Pre-match last couple of games, he's been like watching the team in his civvies. So I reckon maybe they have a pretty good home record. They did. I mean, they won they lost 2-0 to Anderlecht in the first leg, and then won 2-0 at their gaff, and then took them to penalties. So could be a long night next week. And Moyes needs to start and Bummer Ings up front. It would be nice, wouldn't it? Yep, Oggy had the illness apparently. You breezed past my comment because the notion sparks conversation. What was that, Damien? What one did I breeze past? I didn't mean to. The ref was a beta male. If that is that what you're saying? That one, or was it? Let's have a look. We showed them too much respect. They were poor. I think they were right. Okay, left back. I did say they get. Yeah, I did really go through that. I don't think he will. I don't think he will. I think again, and Zuma are his two. Oggy won't come in. They'll be the two that starts on Thursday. And I thought Quest was all right yesterday. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a different game, totally different game next week. You've got they'll have a whole different side. Damien, that's your opinion. I totally understand it. I totally agree with it. I don't agree with it. I don't think the option's there, but I don't think he'll do it. That's what I think I might do with my starting 11 for Brentford. I think I'll just do what I want. I think the 11 should be, because I don't know what Moyes will do, because he won't change everything. Not enough presence for Cresswell. Well, I suppose as a fullback, there's not. I know what you're trying to say in terms of when the ball's coming across and he's competing in the air with someone, but I think he's done all right, and I'd rather have Cresswell there than I'd rather have a Ged in the middle, in all honesty, than on the side, on the left side, because I just think he has this calming influence in that centre back partnership. But we all have differing opinions. A young and fast, we have experienced some skill on the left side. We do, but they have the old. He always breezes past my comments because they usually are. I always preferred Fab to Areola. Would you stick? Yeah, I think they would. Yeah, I think they'll stick with him. Crest was good. It's been for a while. Need to counter, need to attack, and will leave spaces for counter. No time wasting goal kicks. You're right, Michael. They soon change in it when they need to get something. And then we were the ones being the time wasters, like the end when you had bloody what's his face, Areola last minute, like literally holding onto the ball and waiting for someone to at least make a venture. I think they were quite. Do you know, I reckon they were happy with going for one goal disadvantage because I think they're quite cocky by all accounts. Karen Variola was always a mistake. Anyone recall the Areola save against Leon? Don't remember which last year. No, good point. I think he was to blame with the goal. But anyway, let's get in and talk about. Is there any chance that knowing David Moyes, he'll stick with the same side versus? Yeah, I mean, you know, Moisey, innit? Although I reckon that I do reckon Antonio's done. I reckon he's out because he looked like he was out, just the way he was walking after the game. But and then I mean, you got Danny Ings, and I think it'd be good to see Ings. I like the idea of giving Ings and Barmer, you know, as a duo, but we know it's not going to happen, which is a shame because I think it'd be great. I think it'd be great. The best Tim, I love watching match. The Hummers, more power. Thank you. Thank you. Right, we do the ratings as we do the day after the night before. I'll give you my views, you give me your views, and usually we're sort of been all right. It hasn't been too much difference in all honesty. Anyway, let's talk about Areola. I mean, basically Scott's going to give him a good night because Scott loves Areola, but. That goal took a deflection and bounce. I don't think he was set himself properly. I don't think he was set properly personally. Areola, the only person to have featured in all 13 matches in the Europa League this year for West Ham, making his 13th start in the competition against Alkmaar. Obviously, Moisey had 2 changes from the Man United game in terms of him and Zuma. I mean, there was relatively not much for him to do. Routine shots from range. I mean, they didn't have many shots on target, in all honesty. But then when he was required, when he goes, Rijades, his shot, I think maybe he should have set himself a little bit better. I mean, again, I always talk about his size. He's a big lad, so he should be able to cover most of this goal. And yeah, maybe slightly at fault, possibly. Second half didn't have much to do either. But the first half errors, you know, obviously that error made it slightly harder. What we got here, let's have a quick look. Moises defo brought himself out most hated in the club. More power indeed. Think the whole team were to blame for the goal. Comedy of errors. First half 5, second half 7. Yep, still looking that free kick he chopped last week. Aria looked like a player on his way out of the club, in my opinion. A 5, 6. Poor giving away that goal. 5. Tough one on that screamer of goal, but he wasn't really tested. 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 7. The ball bounced. Algier Ben Rama, thank you. 5, you can disagree, but that goal beats Fab every time. If you win the conference, then Emerson will be the first player he will be the first player to win all European trophies, all currently available European trophies. Because he obviously didn't win the Intertoto at 5, 6, 6, 9. He saves his best for finals. Shortcut caught him off guard, took it quickly with power, but should always be on your guard, shouldn't you, Greeno, though? Could be worse. We could have the Hayer in goal. 4, returning Alkmaar isn't going to be easy. It certainly isn't. Niels, hi Steve. 5, quite a tough save. Yep. Russie B gave him a 6. Gave him a 6. All right, let's talk about Tilo Kira. Obviously, gets his spot from the Man United game, playing right back again. And as I said, he found himself, you know, realistically for AZ, Jesper Karlsson, he plays on the left wing, and he's called the Swedish Neymar because he's like a really tricky player. But he was out injured, and they don't know whether he'll be back in time for the next week. But obviously, he's not going to play. I don't think he'll play against FC Emmen on Sunday, so we'll see. I don't think he had a great game, not in comparison to the Man United game. I think he sort of he seemed a little bit indecisive. He was going forward or coming back, to be honest, not getting any little crosses in to cause problems. There wasn't, you know, for someone so quick. There wasn't with Soufal. You have that overlap quite a bit, and you know, arguably you could say the goal sort of started from his side. I don't think it was his best game. It wasn't his worst game, but I don't think it was his best game. Let's have a look. Pretty decent season at 5. 6, getting better at right back. Yeah, I agree. 7, 7, 7. Let's be honest, we were shot against the bang average side, who are the equivalent of Nottingham Forest. They beat us, though, Forest didn't, do they? 1-0 their gap. 7, 6. Now special 6. Defensively solid last game, not great going forward. Didn't give much help to Bowen. Did his job. 6, 7, 6, 6. Come on, man. I'm not saying Fabs is better, but I should have saved that. 7, no mistakes. 7, 7. 6s and 7s. I can't remember what I gave him. I did it last night. What did I give him? I gave him a 6. I gave him a 6. That's what I gave him. Anyway. Right, let's carry on like Donkey Kong. Let's move on and talk about Zuma. Now, obviously, a bit of a surprise about Kurt Zuma, in that we didn't think he was going to play. We didn't think he was going to play. He was, Moyes said he was set to miss a few weeks. Technically, 2 weeks is a few weeks. And out of 12 days since getting injured, he's back in the side. And obviously replaced Oggy, who was ill. So whether it was rushed forward a little bit, I don't think he looked a step out of place, to be honest. I thought he was brilliant. And him and again as a partnership, when they work, they work. And I thought he was brilliant, really solid in the air, positioned himself well, made 1 or 2 forward runs as well going forward, which is quite nice. But they didn't really make him count, particularly his presence. If they crossed it in and he was running into it, he would have been a right, good target man for that. He even tried a bicycle kick, didn't he, in the second half, but didn't quite work. But I thought he was really good, really good. What we got? Did anyone see ref's decision when he gave the goal kick despite the fall thing 4 yards in play? Was that the first half one where it didn't go out, and the linesman said it did? 7, 7, 7 always deserves one for beating his cat. 7, go and get the likes up for Helen. Get the likes up for Helen. Helen likes the likes. Give her a like if you like Helen. Much appreciated if you could. What else we got? We made some surprising solid runs. Yep. 7, 70%. Catman did what he could do. Love Zuma. Was a surprise and very solid. 7, 7, 7, 7, 7. God, 7, 7. Jesus, keep going. 7. His interview after the game was great. 8 of 10 of Whiskers to get fit. Brilliant. Just go watch the goal again. Oh, Scott. Just let it go, man. Ariana letting the goal, which you probably should have saved. 7. I actually gave Zuma a 7 as well. Thought it was very, very good. Good game by Zuma. Let's talk about Naif. So obviously back in, with his partner, with his buddy, and with that he can move on to the left side rather than the right hand side. Looks a lot more confident. It's more of his natural position, being the left sided centre back, and he looks more confident. Again, it was a big performance from both of them, I thought, yesterday rather. Obviously, but I think positionally he was really strong. Again, going forward, bringing the ball forward several times, not just showing a nice range of passing, a couple of misplaced passes, but a lot of good ones on target. But there was a lot of going forward, deciding to drop a shoulder and take the ball. That's what we need. If the impetus comes from the defence in terms of attack, that makes everyone else move forward. So therefore, it just makes things a lot more quicker, more sort of on the front foot. Unlucky. I mean, he got his header cleared off, which then Antonio nodded in the winner. But I thought a good solid game from Mr. Gerd as well. What we got here? 7, 6, 7. Scott, my opinion isn't based on ignorance, mate. I've seen the goal enough times. I'm not saying it's a howler, but I definitely should have saved it. 7, 7. He looked very composed. 8, 7, 7, 7. 7, 7. That's what I'm saying, bro. Still a few shaky moments, but I think Andy, I think what happens is because he's had that shaky period, we all see he's been shaky. We all sort of, it's like that ref yesterday with some of the calls he got right, because we'd already had his card marked for being dodgy. we were like, but actually some of the decisions he made were right, but it was already tainted. I think that's the same with Agard now, because he had that dodgy couple of games. We all think, I was a bit nervous there, but beforehand we'd have just not even probably registered that. 7 bang average 5, says Robert. 777 7 apparently to lay off the argument. Right, what did I give him? I think I gave him a 7 as well. 7 for Mr. Agard. Let's talk about Aaron Cresswell, shall we? Let's talk about Cress, vice captain, Mr. Cresswell. I thought he played all right. Couldn't get as high up as he wanted to. He likes to get quite high up and get his crosses in. Couldn't do it as much because we were playing. I think we were playing a slightly different game than we were playing before, to be honest. In the Man United game for sure. But I don't think AZ really created anything down his side, down our left hand side. If anything, it was all the right hand side. To be fair, okay, not outstanding, but not bad. Just a competent game. I think it was quite competent. What we got here? Where is it? Crest bang average 5 in a team with no press. He'll be more than fine at left back with the pace to support and keep his presence in both boxes for set pieces. Again, in terms of Damien, he's still championing again for left back. I mean, he can play there, and he has played there, so he's an option. 7 6 6 6 7 6 6 7. 7-7. Our defense has switched off and mixed and matched, so like players like have struggled to settle in. I agree. 7-7. Hair gets a 10, of course. 7-7. Emerson has to start next game. We will start against Brentford. 6-6. So it looks 6s and 7s once again. Rusty B gave him a 6. Yeah, gave him a 6. Went out the wrong gate. 7. Okay. Talking alongside the AZ fans. Well, good, lucky OG Michael. They were all right, weren't they? They were singing "Sweet Caroline" at the end and everything. I think it's one of their songs as well. Tommy Soucek, I think compared to the Man United, he's very good at Man United game. I thought here it was a drop off in his performance, but I think again across the park there was a drop off in the performances. Maybe should have closed down Rajadans for the shot so he couldn't get the shot away. But better second half, there was a lot of times where he was winning the ball back. And sometimes he saw the game passing by. So it was, again, a mixed bag from him. Did get the header. He did win the header at Paqueta's long pass, leading to Bowen getting the penalty. So a sort of assist, but not really. But again, I think he does a lot of stuff which gets unseen. And again, I think he's the same one, because he's been tainted with he's not a great footballer. So it's like, I thought some of his passing was all right yesterday. There was some good passing yesterday from him, forward passing from him yesterday. But he does get his foot in, he does get involved, and it does make a difference. I think he does allow like Paqueta to move more forward, which is where we need him. So anyway, 7 some good scores here. 7-6-6. Definitely for Soucek. Pirates playing for the goal, not closing down. I agree. 7-6. Very poor game passing by at fault for their own goal. 6-5, 6-6. No half mark, so 13 out of 20. Thank you. 6-7-6. 5. Russ, how many times do you play Switch? Just the once. We only play when we score. Looks like both sides wanted a whole June holiday, says Marina. Better second half. 6-5-6. Rusty B gives him a 6. Give him a 6. Let's move on like Donkey Kong and talk about Declan Rice. Obviously, heart of the midfield as always. But we didn't really get hold of that midfield during the game, I don't think, considering the caliber of our midfield three, so to speak. We didn't command that midfield. Again, made some good runs forward like he always does. Tried to press high like he always does. His cross led to Bowen getting the penalty. His cross at the end of the Bowen corner led to again getting it knocked off the lineman, Tony scoring the rebound. But again, I thought it was a different type of game for him yesterday, more controlled. I thought wasn't so. It was defensive first rather than attacking first, which we know he prefers gallivanting forward. But as I said, that could be the penultimate time you see him in a West Ham shirt at the London Stadium. Really, with Leeds being the last game. 777, 6.75. Thank you, Cyril. 6-6. Running on empty, 8-8. Played too deep. Average 6. I think when he does play deep, you do miss a lot with him. But I think it was honestly, I think it was the game plan, so to speak. Keep it tight, keep it deep, so to speak. Sounds like my Friday night. But then, have a go at the end if we needed it. 6-7, push forward more second half. Players know what Suchek gives the side. Very underrated. I agreed. Look flat. 6-7-7. Didn't really get going. 6. Holding his shoulder most of the game. Took a knock. He did. He told that kid, wasn't it? He said, I've hurt my shoulder as well. When he gave me his shirt, I think targeted, trying to get the ball away. I think Paqueta was particularly targeted. Every time he had the ball, he did have people around him. He did well to get it out, to get it out of his feet and stuff as well. But anyway, so what did I give? I gave Declan Rice a 7. 7. Let's talk about the person. There's no one better than Lucas Paqueta, our Brazilian Magnifico. Obviously, the foul, but actually it was a handball. I don't think it was a foul. He was trying to win that one. Obviously they countered and they got the goal. I think, to be honest, for quite a bit of that game, he's passing, like the weight of passing just seemed a little bit off, a little bit too light, if that made sense. And then when you wanted it light, it went too hard. It just the passing was slightly out, I think. If you go back and watch it, he does put the minimal amount of effort he needs to put in to get a ball to someone when it needs to. But when, I think it was in the first half, was it the first half? Yeah, and the ball came, and he had Mickey. He cut it in, and he overhit it so much. So it took him a while to get the pace of the ball. It seemed. I don't know whether it's I know they are different balls, but still, it just seemed a little bit. He did get better. Obviously, some nice flicks and tricks, particularly towards the end when needed. I think it's a final pass that's lacked a little bit of sting, to be honest. But there was one pass that was spot on, which is when he headed it down by Suchek, leading to Bowen winning the penalty. Absolutely, spot on. But then played most of the second half with the booking. I thought he was going to get sent off personally because he was getting so frustrated with the referee, and it's that sort of petulant side that tends to get more foreign-based players. I thought they would have taken him off, but they didn't. So anyway, so let's see some scores. 7-6. Looks strong, especially in this competition. 7-7-7 came alive off the 65 when we scored the second goal, basically, wasn't it? 7. He scored the second goal. 6 frustrating. 6-6-7. Some of his passes and moves are world class. He sees things others don't. All our threat comes through him. 7-6-6. Clustered in threes yesterday, indeed. Passing was a bit off, but he won a lot of tackles. It was poor bits of class. 6-8. Everything that happened was due to him. 6-7-7. A generous 7. 6 from Rich. Rushy B gave him a 7. Let's move on. Let's talk about Bowen. Let's talk about Bowen. As I said, next week will be a different game for him because he'll have Milos Cook as the left back. He'll be back in their first choice left back. So that's going to be a different test for him. First off, not amazing. Obviously his in-swing corners were great, and their keeper, former Brighton and Arsenal keeper Matthew Ryan, didn't really handle them particularly well. He did get the better of him when he flicked on when the Suchek flick on. He got a punch in the face for taking his troubles. Deserving assists. He created 2 chances lately on for Danny Ings, particularly on right at the end, which unfortunately he couldn't do. But it was an okay game for Bowen. Again, nothing exceptional. It was okay. 7 looked tired. The kids are coming soon, so he's going to be shit. I think around the final they turn up. 7. he sees the picture around and said, well, 7 looks exhausted. 6 makes good runs. Very few balls getting to him. 6 tried all night. Took one for the team. Indeed, 6-7, 6. That KO was class. Mike would have been proud. Bowen was not tracking back, working with Kira as much. I don't think he works as well. He works better with Sue Fowl behind him, in my opinion. Who misses 6? Yeah, he missed literally. That came through. He misses Sue Fowl. I think he does. I actually gave him a 7 because he was constantly a threat, and you knew they were looking at him to try and they were targeting him. But they always target him. Let's talk about Benny. First half, arguably the best player on the pitch, I'd say. Obviously, he scored against Man United, didn't he? So, that was his 10th goal of the season. So, double figures for him, yes, before going into the game. I think a few saves in the first half of Matthew Ryan. I can remember 2 or 3 at least. When he's at his best, he's good, isn't he? When he's at his best, he's good. Like quick players, like taking players on, quick feet, and obviously he scored his 11th goal. A great penalty, right in the corner. I mean, Ryan went the right way, but because of the way the penalty was taken, and so clinically, couldn't get near it. Great game from Benny, I thought. Bone deserves a rest against Brentford. I think he will do. Well, I hope he will do. 8, 9, 8 was amazing. Very good Apache. 8 for the Algerian on Arnautovic. 8 man a match. 8 man a match. 8, 9 man a match. 8.5. No half points in this game. 10 out of 10 best player and does show through the season. Apart from Kira, the whole side could be changed. I always have allowed to change this whole side. Of course we can. Clearly man of the match. Couldn't deal with him. Pure class in the penalty. 8. Ben Ramadan, great. 8, 7, 8. Not good. Tracking back. Never is. 8 for the penalty. 9. Russie B gave him 8 in my man of the match. Right. Let's quickly talk about Mickey. Last one. Obviously, went into the game as the club's all-time joint goal scorer in European competitions with 8 goals, which is crazy for West Ham's entire history. It was him and Bowen were at the joint top, and obviously scored. He scored a good goal against Ghent. Again in the first leg in the quarterfinals, which was good for him. And I thought he looked lively. I think not as I'd say not as physically dominating as last time, but he looked lively. He looked like he was playing. He looked like he had the bit between his teeth. He just thought he was really, really strong, really strong. Wait, let me just talk to my ring doorman. There we go. Sorry about that. But yeah, I mean, he looked knackered at the end, and he went off with, shortly after scoring. But I mean, that is his 14th goal. I think it's his 14th goal. Yes, of course. I think it's his 14th goal this season, and then that is his most he's scored at West Ham in a single season, which is mental, isn't it? Mental. So it looks like 7s, 8s, 7s, 6, 7s, 7s, 7, 7, 5, 6.5, 8.2. Howard taking the piss. Looked tired in the interview after the game. I mean, he said he was knackered the other day, didn't he, really? Simply has to rotate. I totally agree. 7 in 9, Rusty B. I mean, fair play to him. I actually thought he would cause some more trouble than he did. I love Antonio, says Damien. Went down too easy. Always does, mate. Always does. Russie B gave him a 7. And that's it, my friends. That's it. There's your lot. There's your ratings. Obviously, we turn our attention to the Brentford game. And yeah, we're gonna have all the stuff. We'll have the press conference in about another hour or so from Moisey. So we'll see what he says. I don't think it'll be a particularly long press conference. And yeah, we'll have all all the stuff pre-match, all the previews and starting 11s and watch alongs and all that stuff. If you're new around here, thanks for joining us. We really appreciate it. We always appreciate every one of you turning up and listening to us waffle on. But if you could, if you're not a subscriber, please be one. And we're literally about 50 or about 70 odd from 16,000 subscribers, which is mental. Actually mental. 16,000 of you. You know, that's, I don't know. That's almost it's almost the capacity of the AFS Stadio. But we really do appreciate every one of you. And obviously we'll have Holly will be here with 10 things you didn't know about Brentford, all that type of stuff. When Holly will she be interactive? Holly is literally just getting used to doing the interactive stuff. So we will be getting her to do, like when she does the ratings, we'll get her to do her own shows and all that. You get a lot more of Holly, don't worry. You'll have a lot more of Holly coming up in the next next week or so onwards. So yeah, don't worry about that. So we'll keep an eye on that. Subs, don't we do the subs? Really? Are you going on Sunday? Also, who's the DJ at Brentford? I have no idea who the DJ is. Cyber, but nice to see you. Yeah, I thought actually Ings had his best cameo. I thought he was unlucky not to score. Yeah, Holly was on the BBC football show this week, talking about West Ham. So check that out. I think she's doing some stuff with Premier League productions today as well. So keep an eye out for that. Paul reckons that same team for Brentford you watch. Cheers, mate. Take care. Anyway, guys, so as I said, if you could subscribe, like, comment, share, maybe become a channel member, all that type of stuff. It'd be much appreciated. And I said, take care, stay safe, stay warm. Keep the faith, my friends. Keep the faith. Come on, you bloody irons. Half the job done. Got another job to do next Thursday. But we got Brentford in the middle. Take care. Much love. Bye-bye.